Before we get into the video, I just want to say a huge thank you to everybody that has signed up over on our Patreon this month, last month. I can't tell you guys like how appreciative we are of you guys. And yeah, I just want to say like I'm super grateful for all of you guys. I know not everyone's able to sign up on Patreon, but for the ones that are, like, thank you. You guys are what's keeping us going. And also just a huge thank you to everybody here on YouTube. You guys don't have to like spend money to support us. Just being here also supports us. But if you can hit the thumbs up button and leave a comment, share the video, that also really helps us. So yeah, thank you guys. All right, let's get into the video. It's Channon Rose, and in today's video I decided to do an IVF Q&A because I get so many questions about IVF and a lot of people that maybe don't know much about it or how it works, and a lot of people are also maybe a little bit confused about some of the things that I'm doing or posting about. So I went on Instagram and said, ask me all your IVF questions, and decided to make it into a Q&A for you guys. So those are the questions I'm going to be answering today. So the first question is, when do they put the baby in you? So that's a great question. This is different for everyone. So there's two different ways when you're doing IVF, which is in vitro fertilization. Really quickly, just how it works, like a basic summary of it, is they take sperm from Travis and then they do a surgery where they take my eggs out, and then in a lab they take Travis's sperm and my egg and they put them together and it makes an embryo, which is the start of a baby. And you know, they do as many as they can, like make as many babies as they can, and then if you're lucky enough for them to survive, you can send them to have them tested to make sure they're chromosomally normal. And so out of all of ours, we had 3 that survived, and the other ones were chromosomally abnormal, meaning if they implanted those embryos into me, I wouldn't have gotten pregnant, or I would have possibly gotten pregnant and then miscarried. So for anyone that says like, I can't believe you discarded the chromosomally abnormal embryos, well, those babies would have never survived. So that's why they were discarded. I hope that makes sense. People have been really like, not a lot, but there have been quite a few people that are like, you're trying to play God, and I can't believe you're just discarding babies. Like, that's disgusting. Like, who do you think you are? And I think that maybe if the people that were saying those things just had a little bit more knowledge about everything and how it actually works, they would be a little bit more understanding of what we're doing. I would never ever just throw away a baby that I know would have survived. I would be more than happy to be a mom of an autistic baby or a baby with Down syndrome. I would love that baby to death. So I don't want anyone to think when our doctor said that they were chromosomally abnormal, she did not mean like this baby's gonna be autistic, so we're gonna discard it. That's not at all what was happening. So hopefully that clarifies a little bit before like I get into all the rest of the questions, but I really just wanted to put that at the very beginning because like I said, I think like the more you know. Okay, so when do they put the baby inside you? Okay, so now let me get back to that. It's different for everyone. So you can do something called a fresh transfer, which means right when you have your surgery, like 5 days later, once the sperm and the egg becomes a baby, like as an embryo, then you can do it right away, or you can do something called a frozen embryo transfer, and that's what I did. That's what I did to have Snow. So basically we take the embryos that we made that are genetically normal and we freeze them, and then we let my body rest, and then once the doctors think my body's ready, then we will go ahead and get my body ready for the transfer. And that is like a whole thing on its own. There's like, you know, I have to take more pills, I have to take more shots. It's a whole like ordeal. I go back into the doctor every day to like check to make sure my lining is normal. So it's a lot, but I can promise you that I will keep you guys posted and let you guys know when we plan on doing the transfer. And just so all of you know, everything goes on my Patreon first. So like any big news or something, I'll always post it to Patreon first. They will know like when I get pregnant first, they will know basically everything, all the good shit's on Patreon first, and then it comes to YouTube. They get it first because they paid for it. So I hope that makes sense. For anybody that's maybe wanting to sign up on Patreon, or you're already a Patreon member, I just wanted to let you guys know really quickly the videos that I'm going to be posting this month. These are just a few of them. There'll be a lot more, but off the top of my head, I already know because I've either filmed them and they're getting ready to like go up, or I'm going to film them. So one of those is YouTubers I don't trust, and I'm going to be like calling them out by name and telling you my experience with them, just like tea and drama. So that's definitely going to be a good one. That's going to be going up this month. The second one is we're doing a part 2 of a sex Q&A. So basically you guys go on there and ask me like anything sex related and I answer all your questions, and it's really cool. It's kind of like this intimate like hang out with me in my living room on my couch, and we have like girl talk, or like just talk. You don't have to be a girl. Also, another one, brands that have dropped me and why. So that will be an interesting video. And then also another video that we're posting on there is a fetish, all about the fetish world and like what it was like and the people that I met and like kind of like the psychology that goes behind it and like why those people are the way that they are. It's like a whole secret world that like people don't know about, and it's very fascinating and interesting to me. And so I'm gonna be doing a whole video about that. We're also doing a huge giveaway. There's a workshop tier and then the regular Patreon tier, the $10 tier and the $13 tier. So if you're in the $13 tier, you get into the giveaway 2 times, like you get entered into it 2 times. And this month you're gonna have 4 options. So if you win the giveaway, you can either request 2 Disneyland tickets. So that's gonna be one of the giveaways. Another one is you can request to have 2 of my books signed and sent to you. A huge makeup bundle of like all kinds of really good makeup. And then you can also have the choice of a original painting sent to you. So that's what's up on Patreon this month. So I just wanted to let you guys know, and yeah, let's get into the video. Okay, next question. Do you have to pay to freeze the embryos? Like 10 years from now, will you pay for those 10 years? Yes. So say for instance, we put 1 embryo in and we still have 2 more left. We are paying to have those frozen every month. So it's like a monthly fee that we pay to keep our embryos frozen. If you had the chance to try for twins, would you? It sounds so good in theory because like I want a lot of kids, but knowing myself and knowing my body, like I had a really hard pregnancy with Snow and that was just 1 baby. And I know all pregnancies are different, but I also know that twins would probably be a lot more difficult for me to carry because I have a really bad back. I broke it in a car accident when I was younger. I'm gonna show you my scar if you can see it. And so I've had multiple back surgeries right here, and my back just like always hurts, like even not being pregnant. When I was pregnant, I was like crawling to the bathroom like towards the end of my pregnancy. So just the thought of twins like really scares me. So yeah, to answer your question, no. Okay, the next question is it possible to have identical twins with 1 embryo? Yes, it is. So basically what happens is when you put an embryo in, there's a chance, like a very small chance of it splitting, and that's how you get identical twins. With IVF, the percentages are a little bit higher for the embryo to split because it's, I don't know, like, I don't want to call them manipulated. My husband loves to say like, no more manipulation to our embryos, but they've been kind of like poked and like scraped and stuff. And so I think they're a little bit more susceptible to being able to split. But again, the chance is very small. So yes, it is a possibility. I would freak the fuck out if that happened to me, by the way. Okay, so it says, since it's your last time doing IVF, after this baby is here, can you still have more with the frozen left? Yes, we can. So if for some reason I am lucky enough, God willing, that I get pregnant the first time we do a transfer with our 1 embryo, then I will still be able to get pregnant with the other embryos if we decide to have more children in the future. So yeah, and Travis and I have talked about this. This is another question I've gotten a lot, was like, do you plan on using all the embryos? Like, what do you plan to do with the leftover embryos? It's a hard thing because like those are your babies, right? Like that's how we see them, as our children. And so I'm pretty sure if we are financially be able to afford college for all these kids and just like, you know, financially be able to afford them, that we would love to have more. So we would have all of them. At least we would try to have all of them. We don't plan to discard them. So yeah. Can they tell the sex of the baby before implantation? If you have your embryos tested, yes, you can. They ask you, do you want to know the gender of your embryos? And I was like, yeah, I wanted to know because I was like really curious, like how many boys did we get? How many girls did we get? And I wasn't prepared for her to tell me that they were all the same gender. She was just like, do you want to know? And I was like, yeah. So if for maybe the slightest chance that you maybe want to be surprised or something, but you still want to know like what you have, I would just say like, if they're all the same gender, don't tell me. Because like I said, it was just so shocking. I wasn't expecting that, but yeah, they can. Did you have any reactions to the shots? My doctor suggested a round of Gonal F. So I did not have any reactions to the shots, thankfully. And I'm super sensitive to medication and just like my skin's sensitive, and I was totally fine. How are you feeling? I'm so happy about the embryo news. Oh, thank you. I'm actually feeling a lot better. I was feeling pretty under the weather, but I'm totally fine now. So thank you for asking. Will you and Travis consider having more than 2 kids if the embryos are genetically normal? Yes, absolutely. So I'm getting a lot of questions of asking when we plan to implant the embryo, and we don't have a date yet, but as soon as I do, I will let you guys know. How did you know you can't have kids naturally? So I actually didn't know. I found out the hard way, which was trying for years and years and just not getting pregnant. And And so after, I think it was like a year or 2 years, I can't remember. After like a long time, we decided to see a fertility specialist. So we kind of just knew by not getting pregnant for a long time. And then when you go to a fertility specialist, they try to do a bunch of tests and stuff to figure out why you aren't getting pregnant. And a lot of times they don't know. And so it's called like unexplained infertility, but you know, they're there to help you along the way. So that's really nice. Hallelujah for fertility doctors. What's the transfer rate at being successful? Such a great question. Basically what she's asking is what's the percentage that I'll actually get pregnant with the embryo transfer? So I believe it's a 60% chance or something that I will get pregnant each round. So every time they insert an embryo, I have a 60% chance. If it's your last time doing IVF, does that mean you're done having kids? Love you guys. We love you too, Stacey. Okay, so no. So what I meant by the last time doing IVF is like I did like a whole cycle and then egg retrieval surgery, and you know, now we're doing it a second time, another egg retrieval surgery. So once you do that surgery, you have embryos frozen. So what I meant by last IVF is like I don't want to have to do the whole thing over again and, you know, do the surgery and all of that. But if we have leftover embryos, I can still have kids later on. Does that make sense? I hope it does. Okay, so someone said it might be a dumb question. I always like want to tell people like your questions are never dumb. Just because other people might know the answer, it doesn't mean that everyone does. Don't ever feel dumb asking a question. I used to feel so dumb asking questions in school because I felt like everyone knew, but I didn't. And the thing is, guys, like there were a lot of people that didn't know. They were just too scared to speak up. So ask your dumb question because it's not dumb if you don't know what it is. And that's how you learn, you know? So if you have no fallopian tubes, where did your eggs come from? Your fallopian tubes, it's like hard. Maybe I can like put up a picture of what it looks like, but your eggs are actually stored in our ovaries. So our fallopian tubes, even if you don't have fallopian tubes, you still can get eggs if you do an egg retrieval surgery. So that's how I got my eggs out. So I still have all my eggs. They're not the best quality, I don't think, but they're there. Someone said I'm going through the same thing, but I'm still at the beginning and I'm scared. Can you tell me more about it? Okay, it's totally normal to be scared, and just know that if you're scared, it's because you're getting ready to do something really brave. You are stronger than you think you are, and when you have no choice but to go through something because you want it so bad, you freaking warrior up and you get it done. And yeah, I'm trying not to cry through all of it, but like it's totally okay to be scared. It's normal to be scared. All of us were when we were going through it, but I can tell you, if you're holding a baby, at the end of it, it's all gonna be so worth it. Would you ever put 2 eggs in? I think she means like 2 embryos in. So the only way I would put 2 embryos in is if my doctor recommended it to me, and most doctors don't, because they don't want you to get pregnant with multiples because it's a high risk pregnancy and a lot of things can go wrong. So yeah, that's the only way I would do it, is if my doctor was like, we recommend that you put 2 in, then I would, but most likely not gonna happen. Stay strong, we love you. Oh, thank you. I love you guys too. You guys are so amazing and supportive, and I'm like so lucky to have this platform and so many of you guys supporting me on this journey. Like, it's amazing. Do they have to give you suppositories? So once you do the transfer, you're PUPO, which is pregnant until proven otherwise, and a lot of times they'll give you these like progesterone shots and oil that you like have to give yourself in your butt, or if you're lucky, you get suppositories. I was the lucky one and I got suppositories because I really do not like giving myself the shots. That's not why. If my doctor said we recommend the shots, I would totally do them. But for Snow, they gave me suppositories and that worked. So this office, like my new fertility office, is wanting me to do kind of the same protocol since they know it worked in the past. So yes, I most likely will be doing suppositories. How was the egg retrieval? Any pain? Okay, so everyone's pain tolerance is different. I've had multiple surgeries, like big surgeries where like my whole back was cut open, all the muscle. You know, I've had like breast implants, and I've had so many surgeries. So for me, the pain was not as bad as some other surgeries I've had, but I also have endometriosis. So for me, it was pretty painful, but it's not that bad. And for a lot of people, they're like, oh, I just had like cramps after and I was fine and I went to work the next day. So again, everyone's different, but for the most part, I don't think it's that bad. How much is IVF in the US? I always hear how expensive it is over there. It is very expensive. It can be anywhere between $15,000 to $30,000. Ours is probably over $30,000 that we've spent this time alone. Okay, last question is, if for some reason this doesn't work, would you do a cycle all over again? Oh, that's such a hard question, you guys, because I literally told myself like this is the last time I'm doing this, but I'm a fucking fighter, and when I want something, I go to bat to get it, and I won't stop until I do. So I know I said this is the last time that I would do it, and right now that's how I feel. But if for some reason I didn't get pregnant and I tried 3 times and all my embryos were gone, would I do it again? The thing is, like, we have literally gone broke like doing IVF. We've saved everything that we've had to do it again this last cycle. It's so so expensive, and we pay everything privately and out of pocket because our insurance doesn't cover it. So I guess the fighter in me says like, yeah, I would do it again, but it would probably take us a while because we'd have to work our asses off and like probably get extra jobs and, you know, to be able to afford that again. So crossing our fingers and hoping and praying that we don't have to do it again and that we're lucky enough to get pregnant. So definitely gonna be keeping you guys along for the whole journey. And I also just want to say a huge thank you to all of our patrons that have been supporting us over on Patreon. Like, you guys are the reason that we're able to even do this IVF, to be able to like continue making videos on YouTube. We are so grateful for all of our supporters here and on Patreon. So I just want to say thank you again so much for being here and supporting us. We love you. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you want me to do a part 2 of this, because there is still a lot of questions that I wasn't able to answer in this video just because it got kind of long. So if you want me to do a part 2, let me know down in the comment section below. Also, just let me know if there's any other type of videos you guys want to see from us. And yeah, I think that's it. I'm sending you all my love and all my positive energy, and I hope to see you in my next video. Mwah!
Regardless of cash, regardless of wealth, I never got handouts, I did this myself. Prove I got something to show. Nobody got nothing on Rose. I got the clout, I got a following. Yeah, you can hate, but you gotta acknowledge it. I got a story and I'm gonna tell it. Matter of fact, I think I'm gonna sell it. I'm gonna sell it. Channon Rose, I'm an example of how